Well, all right. Welcome to the Daily Dialogue. And this is going to be a video covering a Star Wars article, a recent one from express.co.uk. We're gonna do some brainstorming about this article. And it reads, Star Wars Last Jedi fan backlash, Kathleen Kennedy not working on episode 9. Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy is no longer working on Episode 9 and has given full control to JJ Abrams, claims a new report following a recent meeting called by Disney boss Bob Iger. Let's see. Star Wars 9 isn't just the ending of one of the greatest film sagas in cinema history. Alright, I gotta stop right there. You gotta be joking. That's such garbage. That's not true. That financially it's not true. Anybody who's a movie critic can tell you that's not true. That is just pure. It's lazy. That saga from Force Awakens, Last Jedi to Episode 9 is just it's lazy work, and they put all their effort into just trying to push a political agenda instead of trying to focus on a proper story. You have to think, if that's the best, Disney, the billion-dollar company, the multi-billion-dollar company, with all their resources, the best they could give us was The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and soon-to-be Episode 9 for a trilogy. That's the best, and it's the greatest film saga in cinema history. No. Stop. You're showing your bias right now, and it's making me not want to read this article. So let's continue. It was also supposed to launch an entire new franchise for years to come, but suddenly everything looks a lot less certain. A vocal and very passionate segment of the fandom has opposed itself to all new Star Wars projects in protest at Rian Johnson and Kennedy's The Last Jedi, and is taking credit for the recent box office disaster of Solo, a Star Wars story. Facing such unexpected disruption, is Bob Iger looking to make serious and sudden changes at Lucasfilm? Grace Randolph at Beyond the Trailer said, the word is that he wants Kathleen Kennedy out. But has the Lucasfilm boss seriously stepped away from the biggest project of her career? JJ Abrams is poised to start production on Episode 9 for Christmas 2019. Release and pressure is mounting to move the franchise into the modern age and also bring back the alienated original fans. Randolph added, Kathleen Kennedy has decided to let this all fall on JJ Abrams and stepped back, giving him complete control. Complete creative control. If so, and whether it was the Lucasfilm's head wish or not, it exposes two major problems with the future of Star Wars. Now, that's pretty interesting. Let's take into account that there was a tweet by somebody. I believe they were tweeting to Kathleen Kennedy's husband. And it was paraphrasing it. He basically was talking about how it's not fair that Kathleen Kennedy is getting all this blow and Bob Iger is using her as a scapegoat. And her husband liked that tweet. So that tells me that there's some validity to that. I mean, that's a speculation of mine, obviously. But if I were a detective and I just, my hunch tells me that him liking that tweet is he's agreeing with that person. And I could take this, if this is true, that Kathleen Kennedy is just saying, JJ, it's all yours. Take control. Go with the wind. Do it. That's not like her. I know she's very close with JJ, but she has always been very tight when it came to creative control, because she's always been firing people left and right over creative differences. So maybe, let's think here for a second. Maybe she's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna be taking this heat. Bob Iger, he's trying to throw me under the bus. He's trying to ruin my career. He's trying to make me look like the bad guy, even though, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be sympathetic. I'm not trying to build a case for people to be sympathetic towards Kathleen Kennedy, because for some, she's a human at the end of the day, obviously. But for some things that she's done, and the way she's not only alienated a fan base, has made people accuse them of being alt-right and sexist and misogynist. That's wrong. When you do that, you take away from actually identifying the real people with those issues, the real misogynists, the real sexists, when you just claim everybody like that, you know. But going back, maybe she's just, she's just done. Maybe if this report is true, maybe she's like, you know what? I don't care, JJ. See if you can pull, a miracle. What happens, what happens. I'm not gonna, be a part of this. Could be that, or maybe it's a step from Bob Iger, him coming from him, because she's gonna be removed in September. Maybe. We'll see. This is interesting. So let's continue. Firstly, not everyone was convinced by Abrams' handling of the rather derivative Force Awakens. It was a crowd and fan pleaser, but a clear revisiting of A New Hope. Can he really bring a bold, creative, and convincing conclusion to the entire saga? Randolph said, I think I think if you are going to aggressively captain a ship, you have to captain it to the bitter end. And what if JJ Abrams doesn't fix it? Even more worrying is the growing belief by many that the Star Wars films are no longer being made by people who love the original movies. And that's true. JJ Abrams, I have mixed feelings about him. I really like his Cloverfield series, even though they're in the same universe, but they're all separate. It's not like a sequel continuing from the same exact story of each movie. I think there's three, Cloverfield. The second one I can't remember, and then there's Cloverfield Paradox or something like that. And I love them. They're all great movies, Lost I never seen, but I know that he got a lot of flack for just the ending, how it was a bad ending. And yeah, The Force Awakens, it was a complete ripoff. A complete ripoff of A New Hope. And I get it, but it's like, again, that's the best you could do. With all the resources you got, that's the best you could do, just copy a movie. And then the second one that you do, The Last Jedi, was just crap. I don't know. If we take anything from this, just like with Solo, we can just tell that what's going on over there is a mess. And when it comes to dealing with one of the best franchises in the world, we can't have all this confusion and just messed up things going on over there. They need to stay focused. Randolph said, I think Disney is mistaken to be okay with Kathleen Kennedy giving JJ Abrams complete creative control because it shows they still don't have any real fans of Star Wars in the decision-making process. It is now widely accepted that The Force Awakens is just a blatant copy of A New Hope and will live in infamy for letting an actor decide the fate of a major character. They listened to Harrison Ford, but not to Mark Hamill. Kennedy and her team are increasingly seen by their opponents as business-driven, with little understanding or respect of the passionate fan base who built and sustained the franchise and its lucrative merchandise over decades. Even so, is it really feasible that a major studio head would step away completely from what is shaping up to be the defining movie for the entire franchise, past and future? Either the reports of Kennedy's removal are pure wishful thinking by her enemies, or they herald some major changes at the top which have not yet been made public. All eyes from both sides of the fence will be fixed firmly on Episode 9 for the next 19 months. Have they really killed the past at the expense of the future, or will Disney and Lucasfilm work one last Star Wars miracle? Whew! So yeah, like I said, I think it's really interesting that these developments are going on, if they are true. And if I were to say, there's only two ways. Either Kathleen Kennedy just doesn't care anymore and she doesn't want to take the heat for Bob Iger, or Bob Iger this is coming directly from him. Those are the two ways I see it. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't care. She's letting this ride on into, she's letting it burn down, whatever JJ can do. Or Bob Iger is getting her prepared to remove her in September like that original report. But again, these are all rumors. Only time will tell if they reveal to be true. Thank you. This was the Daily Dialogue. Subscribe, visit my Patreon. Thank you for watching.